It's the only podcast I haven't enabled practice session for, so essentially we're straight into it, but it's only us four in here at the moment, so...
Oh, okay.
Somebody else turns up.
So no one's watching, so people could be watching?
No, nobody's watching.
No, there are four people.
There are four
attendees. Hello, four attendees. This is great. This is a great start to MegaCon.
We're off to a great start, yes.
It's like everybody is here. Greetings, players in Survivor Fleet.
And I'm Gerald Julian. While the fleet suffered some loss in the latest wolf attack, squadrons from Dayan, Aegis, Quellon, and Icebreaker successfully destroyed a wolf cruiser-class unit, and not one, not two, but 3 wolf fighter units. Despite
have us hold a trial for the vice president with the admiral or representative there, so we can resolve that quickly.
And as soon as we get this press release coordinated, we look forward to you joining our government.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go Planeteers!
Let's all just get together, right? Let's build our resources up, and then let's invade the north.
The station confirmed they're running the station.
I don't know what's happening. I have literally no idea. I know as much as you do.
How do they they do their own thing anyway, so they have to destroy the old ones to put the new ones in. They make themselves the only reliable people on the bloody planet.
In real Yendor, of course, there are no spreadsheets, and everything is politics.
So, I'm also seeing that we're taxed 5% by the community.
5%?
Turkey informed me a mockery is being made of the UN's good name at the moment.
I'll object. I'll object to that stand. Turkey.
What is your belief on what is happening with the aliens right now?
Unfortunately, my science division haven't been able to. We haven't been able to talk to an alien directly to guard exactly what they're up to. We're suspicious because they didn't just announce themselves.
And I am taking a bite of this glorious interdimensional fruit in front of you all on live broadcast television.
Service can be open, stick around. The best stories are the ones you share afterwards when you're trying to figure out where Godzilla came from.
Perhaps it was the gods' way of telling us that they wished for us not to have one good, merely corn or wheat, but wheat and corn and barley, and the bounty of variety.
If you wish to burn things at the state, I mean, Nordslane would be entirely happy to support you in this, because they must not be allowed to mock you or your great name and your great nation.
No, the ship is moving.
Oh.
Yes. It may not be going in the right direction, but
it's going. I've fixed the direction now. I'm going to keep a close eye on it. Chief Engineer, go stand by.
A mountain or a fort, which are these red pentagons. Those also give defensive bonus to your opponents.
Because I'm wondering if I should detach some Vexallations from Asia.
Oh, the troops in Asia are busy. Very busy. Okay. It's horrible over there.
Lower Pannonia, since you've just tried to assassinate me, I'm going to make a speech against your troops saying that, this is despicable cowardice that has been attempted on my life. I fought with you. I will get you all more money if you come with me in March to Rome.
What is your top themed mega game that you would play tomorrow if you had the chance? I'll throw that one to you, Becky.
Just first thing that came into my head was pirates, because pirate games, and maybe it's because I'm drinking, pirate games are just always so much fun.
So this finally leads us about halfway through the presentation to our first mega game. So Memphis Mangler, which was designed by Paddy. It was ran the 17th of March 1981, which was 40 years ago this week. So it's the 40th birthday of Mega Games this week. So, happy birthday, Mega Games.
Now, wargaming basically adds a lot of structure, whatever the game design is, to a workshop, and basically allows there to be a big central narrative that you run through.
What's more important, succeeding at your objectives or having fun?
I think it depends a bit on the interaction of the two very much. So if for you, doing really well in the game is going to be fun, then they don't have to be mutually exclusive, right? You can do really well at the game and have a really great time.
And last but certainly not least was the older people's team. And so they were representing the community, the people that are living in this housing in older age.
I thought I'd come up with something that sounded groovy. So I've come up with the 4 C's, somewhat shoehorned 4 C's into this. And what I've identified are things that are important: credible setting, continuity of play, continuing narrative, that's the one that I shoehorned, and committed participants.
So the idea was there was a scenario, the kind of scenario you might well get in a class anyway, in nursing or social work, but I wanted to bring it to life. So I put people in teams and mixed students up, and I created a group of people who I called the troublemakers.
The key thing to making mega games accessible is giving people the opportunity to raise those. So rather than the onus being on them to pluck up the courage and go and say to the designer, actually, could I check, is this going to be all right for somebody with colour blindness? In the the player registration form, have a question about what are any of your access needs.
How do you find the right point to stop ramping up the complexity?
As soon as it becomes complex for the players, that's when you've gone too far.
But I'll bring it back to the design perspective. When you're actually making the game, how can you make a game that is easy to learn? And I think it comes down to that simplicity and being aware of using tropes that people understand.
If you just think about it in your head, like if you had to play a card thing, it's a very simple action for you to do. You just take the card out of your hand and you just play it. Whereas online, you have to find your hand wherever it is on your interface. You've got to drag it and move the bus. And just those few seconds slow down your game an awful lot.
Also, the horses, obviously another key part of the genre. So whether that would be like, I don't know, sort of almost like an equipment thing where you have a card for your horse, how good they are or something. I don't know. Obviously can't.
What you will find, however, is when you zoom in, it gets all pixelated and grainy, which is not ideal because your mega game map is not going to be the size of your computer screen. Your mega game map is going to be probably 6 foot across.
I think in most areas, in most times in history, there have been very influential women, and it's worth knowing in the areas that you're interested in, historically or current or future, what are other sorts of things that you would imagine female characters being involved in?
So at the start of the game, the idea is that Central has a really strong start. They can really kind of put their weight around, but as the game goes on and staging kind of picks up steam and takes more land and gets more allies, it should start to kind of push the balance more against their favour.
Lots of really fascinating, really weird discussions, lots of, again, getting to know and getting to meet folks also into mega gaming from all over the world. So yeah, it's just been really nice to see that actually, in parts at least, the community has been bolstered as well, and people have really got to build connections.